So Paul Feinbaum says some harsh, albeit true, things about Lincoln Riley, and USC creators choose to attack Brent Venables. I guess that makes sense.
Shut up! Little dumbass.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, real talk in college football, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome into the show, everybody. Ryman Lemon, Mars Jam, Stink Ass Cat. Who else we got in here? Eric Reheard and the First Lady's in here. A new member to the show. Welcome. Mars Jams, Ryman. Glad to see everybody in here. All right. I have to start here. I got to start here, and it's not really what I wanted to do, but you know what I think about Lincoln Riley, and I'm getting kind of sick of this. So I just want to show you one little thing, and then I'm going to get into it all. This is always fun. Let's see.
We need to have a Brent Venables conversation. You know, if we are going to have a Lincoln Riley conversation at USC, we need to have a Brent Venables conversation at Oklahoma. And Oklahoma fans, like, they are bullish on Venables, and I'm not going to criticize them for that. But what I am going to criticize from Oklahoma fans, since we're on this topic, is that, like, they are just so upfront in saying, oh, it was so clearly good for Oklahoma football that Lincoln Riley left. All right, I mean, can we just pick that apart for a bit? Lincoln Riley took you to 3 playoffs. Now, did he do that with what Bob Stoops left him in the cupboard? Yes. Like, not arguing that, but still, 3 straight playoffs, 4 straight Big 12 championships. That's a lot of achievement right there. Brent Venables hasn't yet made a playoff, you know, hasn't yet gotten Oklahoma to the standards that Lincoln Riley achieved, and all the chips are on the middle of the table in terms of Jackson Arnold. Like Brent Venables is betting the farm that Jackson Arnold is going to be the real deal at Oklahoma, and if he's not, what then? So, you know, just from an Oklahoma standpoint, in terms of saying how much better Brent Venables is than Lincoln Riley, all right, could be true, but hasn't yet been proved to be true. And can we at least see Brent Venables hit the ball out of the park one season before we arrive at the point where we say, oh, it's so clearly beneficial for Oklahoma that Lincoln Riley's gone? Can we at least just see Brent Venables hit a moonshot, you know, 450-foot home run on this night of the home run derby? Can we at least see Brent Venables hit one moonshot before we start getting into that territory? So that is part of the Lincoln Riley discourse, is that if Lincoln Riley is so awful for USC, what are we saying about Brent Venables?
Oops. What are we saying about Brent Venables? Let me restate that. What are we saying about Brent Venables? Well, anybody who watched SEC Media Days yesterday, even his most vocal critics are saying good things about him today, like he knocked it out of the park, or, you know, he won the day at SEC Media Days. Oklahoma was there and doing well. We're going to get into SEC Media Days a little bit more in just a bit. But yeah, this is absolutely right. Scared of the SEC when he took the job. He just proved us right. And that's the whole the other thing is this idea that it was all Lincoln's doings. Look, guys, I've said this 100 times, and I'll tell you, hell, that video that went out this morning, there's still people that are high on Lincoln Riley. Why? I'm not sure. The metrics will tell you so. Not always are they right, though. Right? You can see what was happening the whole last half of the season. Had it not been for a miss by Arizona, they go from 6-0 to 0-6. They had the Heisman Trophy winner and went 7-5, and nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about that 11-1 year, the year before, when they didn't play Oregon or Washington. They played them the next year, got smoked. Notre Dame beat the hell out of them last year. I don't know what it is exactly that they are so diehard on. They have to defend. They got to defend this guy and believe that he's the guy. Half the time, they know he isn't. He's hemorrhaging freaking players left and right. He can't win his own state. He can't even win his own state. I saw that graphic yesterday. There were 5 different kids from California, right in Southern California at that going to Bama. 4 going to Oregon, your rival. Pac-12 old rival. And what are they talking about? The same crap that you hear from Texas fans that, about why they're losing players to Oregon, because it's about just dropping the bag. Basically calling the players greedy, which is completely tone deaf. Somebody said tone deaf in there a minute ago. Perfect word. Perfect word. Don't remind me, Shelby. I was there. I remember. Ugh. But look, I'm at the point that this is not even debatable anymore. One of the other things that he said, and he said it right in that, was that we're going to have this talk about why are we still saying that they're so much better off in Norman now that Lincoln's gone? Because they are. Oklahoma's much better. It's just crazy stuff. We need to discuss Brent Venables. What happens if Jackson Arnold doesn't work out? Acting like they don't have other quarterbacks in the room. 4-star quarterbacks, stud quarterbacks. Well, look at everything that you've been hearing about Michael Hawkins. Gabe Eichert said he was more impressed with Michael Hawkins as a freshman during spring than he was Caleb Williams. That's high praise. They got the kid coming from California, no less, in the 2026 class, plus Kevin Sperry next year, who was an Elite 11 finalist as well. These guys are lined up to go to Oklahoma, just like all quarterbacks like to go to Oklahoma, because it didn't start and end with Lincoln Riley. Offensive production at OU. That's the dumbest shit ever. What you have done is, Venables has out-recruited him every cycle, including the one when he took over for him, when he had about a month, not even quite a month, to put a class together. Went number 8. Lincoln was number 11, 12, something like that. The next year, number 4. Gets Jackson Arnold, 5-star. Gatorade National High School Player of the Year from Denton Guyer. Plus Peyton Bowen, 5-star safety. Number 2 overall to Caleb Downs. in that class, in that for that position anyway. PJ Adebawari, number 4 overall prospect, edge rushing guy. That's more 5 stars than they've gotten on defense since freaking Gerald McCoy. I don't even think Gerald was a freaking 5-star. Then the next year, 5 blue chip recruits for the D line in the high school class, plus Dominic Williams in the portal. Another number 8 class that was probably a little underrated, but that's okay. 5-star David Stone, steal of the freaking complete steal of the recruiting cycle, and Jaden Jackson right next to him, Danny Okoye, Nigel Smith. It's not even kind of close, guys. Was Gerald finally a 5-star? Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, see? Allowed the best college football player in Brock Bowers to lead the state. Yeah, he does that every year. O'Neal, who might end up being the 26 class's best quarterback. He's right now, he's a top 100 4-star guy. He's big. He's got a hell of a ball. He's in his backyard, and they're so sure that they're going to get Julian Lewis, which I'm not sure about that. That they're not even, they didn't even recruit him. And he's going to Oklahoma. It's not even close. He's not. They also got, Oklahoma has gotten more kids out of the state of California this cycle coming up for 24 or 25, than Lincoln has. Guys from St. John Bosco and Mater Dei, last cycle, another one of the best tight ends in the country, who was down at Los Alamitos, Devon Mitchell, 5-star he would have been a 5-star in this class coming up. He reclassifies, he stays in the top 100, but he's not a 5-star anymore. This dude looks like Jermaine Gresham. Doesn't go to USC. Oh, yeah, that had something to do with Michael Hawkins also. What are we doing? What are we even talking about? And why is it that Paul Feinbaum goes on the attack against Lincoln and they start attacking Oklahoma again and Brent Venables? Why? The fact is, Oklahoma's better off. You may think that you got the better coach, and yeah, that's fine. But you cannot argue, period, point blank, that Oklahoma isn't better off. You can't make the argument anymore, Tim. You can't do it. Matt, Tim, neither one of you. And yes, somebody asked if Tim said anything. He said plenty later on. Talked about how OU was bad until Riley got there. They lost 5 games that year. This is the year that they let Josh go, when they brought Mike Stoops back and BV left. Okay. They made Josh change his offense to fit the defense, quote unquote. Look, I'm not going to get all back into that. But here's where they forget to talk about. So that was the last year. His first year was either Bob's. Was Bob there 2 years with him or 1? 2 years, right? In any event, they won the They won the conference championship, the first of 6 in a row, went 11-2, beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. That was with Trevor. Look, was Lincoln a part of that? Sure. Did he recruit any of those kids? No. No. Yeah, I know. He does it all the time. They're still defending Benny Wiley. And look, the other day I asked, and I was watching him, and he knew I was, and I was saying stuff, but I wasn't saying anything crazy. But I even sent a super chat in. I was like, I want to ask you a question now. At this point, knowing what we all know now, are you going to tell me that when you went and got Lincoln Riley, which I'm glad you did, but when you went and got Lincoln Riley, you wouldn't have rather gotten Kalen DeBoer back then? Because I guarantee you, Jen Cohen, who is now the athletic director, she wouldn't have hired Lincoln. There ain't no way. She would have hired Kalen. What up, Big Bogue? CE, Ben G, Ryman Lemon, Wiley, Richford, Cole Satterfield. Welcome into the show, guys. Stink ass cat. Let's see who else we got. R. Mason Tom. Yes, man. The bottom line is they have actually built a roster right now that can go and compete. We talked about this last night. Oklahoma can beat everybody on their schedule this year. They may not beat everybody on their schedule this year, but they can. I know I got that video out there right now where the metrics that, you know, from our guy, CFB Professor, says 11-1, 12-0. Now, he said that he thinks 9-3. I've been saying 8-4. You look at that schedule, you could see how they could win a bunch of games because of the fact that Michigan's down. They get Penn State at home, and who knows what they're going to have on offense. If it turns into, you know, any kind of a shootout type of thing, or they have their offense running, well, they can do pretty well there. LSU, we're going to have to find out what's up with that because they had an awful, awful defense last year too. So we'll see. I still think they go 8-4. I could see 9-3. I don't see anything over 9 wins. No way. No way. Even though they don't have to play Ohio State, they're not playing Oregon. They're getting Washington on a down year. They get Wisconsin at home. You know, chances are they've got a pretty decent run up, knowing how weak they are. But they bitched and complained. They're going to play Notre Dame at the end of the year. You know Notre Dame's going to beat the shit out of them, just like they did last year, because they're soft. In the end, there's no question anymore. And that was the main thing that you heard Matt saying was this thought that they're better off with Brent Venables. Can he at least hit it out of the park first? He's hitting it out of the park, bruh. He won 10 games in year 2 while you slid the other way. When nobody cares about his playoff, getting his ass kicked in the playoff 3 times. And I mean, look, they had every opportunity to beat Georgia. Went up 21, do a pooch kick, and then freaking just gag it away after that. Change the momentum. Make any sense. Don't get me wrong, it's a damn good Georgia team, but I was in the stadium, and then the next year too, and you know what the difference was? Size. In the Rose Bowl, they were 1 year removed from Stoops. Smitty was still there. They were still big. They still compared size-wise to Georgia. Now, they didn't stop anybody. But the next year against Alabama, why do you think they went down 28-3? Because they weren't ready. And then the year after that, when they went up against probably the best college football team of all time, or one of them anyway, you know they weren't ready for that. It just wasn't going to happen, guys. This is a bunch of crap. This is a bunch of crap. Texas ain't beating Georgia there, Benji. Not happening, man. No, they can't. They can't say the same thing either. Come on, man. Caden Woolard. Yeah, look, they've done very well in the portal. They've done very well in recruiting. You go look at the kids in that safety room. You go look at the kids that they're getting all throughout the secondary and linebacker room, plus all over that defensive line. It's ridiculous. Deshaun McCullough, you know, this defense is the real deal. And as we talked about last night, that's the one thing that you have to do. If you do that, Jackson doesn't have to be perfect. That was the other thing that Matt said. What happens if that doesn't work out with Jackson Arnold? First off, What do we even? I don't know what you're talking about. Seth Luttrell has a history of doing great things with quarterbacks. Plus, the quarterback coach that they brought in that worked with them and Phil Longo all that time, he's got skins on his wall. They're fine. They've got a loaded wide receiver room, a loaded running back room. They're starting to get some good tight ends too. We'll see what happens, how long it takes Devon Mitchell to kind of come into it. But Bauer Sharp looks like he's really good. They're going to do things fine. Look, again, offense did not start and end with Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Newsflash, they had won 2 Heisman trophies with quarterbacks before his ass got there. And he didn't recruit Baker or Kyler. Neither one. Yeah. Listen, I'm not worried about the offensive line at all, Cole. That's that big question. Somebody else, this is another thing that we can talk. You've got people in here saying all this stuff about returning production, all this other stuff. Overall, Oklahoma has like 80-something% of its defensive production coming back. And if you go by if they played last year or whatever, I don't know how they're doing returning production anymore, but I don't even think it's right on offense. They've got more starts on the offensive line with their transfer guys that have come in than Georgia, Alabama, Texas, and Ohio State. They got more starts there. I don't know how many of those guys are going to start, but that's a lot of production coming back if that's the way they're counting it. I don't care if it is or it isn't. Bill Bedenbaugh is going to put the right line together. And let's, I was thinking about this last night, what we were saying too. Guys, all this talk about Caden Green, right? How good he was. What are the rest of those guys that he brought in with them that were the same rankings and stuff? Big guys just like that. Jacob Sexton. They're just like this dude. In fact, Sexton's better. He was just hurt. Bedenbaugh is the guy at identifying guys. If you're not going to get, and I don't know why he hadn't gotten a bunch of 5-star dudes. First off, there's not a ton of them. I think he's probably going to get at least one here, and it, Foji could turn into a 5-star as well. He's definitely a 5-star talent if you look at him. Same size as the other guys. Michael Fasusi. I mean, it is what it is. The bottom line is, this is a stupid narrative to continue with, and it's stupid that they keep coming back at this thing. All these USC people wanting to talk about how Lincoln's better. Why do you still even care about? If you think he's so much better, you should shut up and keep him around. Why aren't y'all? That's the other thing. If he's so much better, why are they not, quote unquote, paying for the NIL? Don't tell me they don't have money at USC. Shit. Give me a damn break. Oh, Lord. Oh. What the hell was that about? Oh. We'll see what happens with it. Look, Georgia's definitely the best team in the country to me. I think Ohio State, talent-wise, they got a hell of a team. Roster-wise, I still, you got to see them get it done. But we'll have to find out. But I still think that Georgia's the best. Overall, top to bottom, that they're going to be ready. And Carson Beck is the best quarterback in the country right now. You're hearing people saying that they expect Jackson will take a step this year. He could, look, would it surprise anybody if he did? Again, Scotty even said it on here last night. You only have to go out there, maybe win 2 or 3 games for, we're talking go have a game-winning drive, whatever. Why can't you do that? You going to tell me that Ole Miss defense is going to be that good? Drink was bitching and complaining about the guys that left for LSU those 3 coaches that left for LSU pissed him right off. You could tell he was all butthurt about that yesterday. To me, he looked like he was having a moment. I still don't, I mean, you know, we hear a lot of bad stuff about Goldie. He's not Alex Grinch, but, you know. Yeah, the O-line is fine. And here's the other thing. That's one other thing you got to say about this. They're going to go up against the best, one of the best defenses in the country every day. They love to compete like that. They like to go good on good, just like Georgia does, just like Alabama does. You're going to get better just by iron sharpening iron. You're gonna. That's already been happening. What I saw from Jackson looked really good in the spring game. Look, he threw away a bunch of balls that he just wasn't going to try to fit them into somewhere he probably could have. When you got guys like he has in the receiver room, you don't have to try to force anything. You can throw it away and still pick up a first on the next one. When you got guys like he has in the running back room and a guy that's going to commit to the run, you don't have to go out there and win the Heisman this year. You don't. If that defense is one of the best in the SEC, top 2 or 3, just be decent. Just be good and protect the football. We know you can throw it deep. We know you can hit the shots. Stay within what that offense needs to be. You're good to go. And he showed that he could do that. He showed a good pocket presence, even with those dudes all around him. And whenever he knew that there wasn't anything open, he got rid of the ball. It's the way you want him to do it, especially young. That's the other thing, too. Yeah, look. And that was the thing that I said, look, I want to say this to Matt and Tim. You want to talk about this? Tim was saying he didn't inherit anything good there at USC either. No, but he brought a freaking 5-star #1 quarterback in the country with him. That changes a lot of things in a conference like that. It's not like they were going to the SEC because he ran away from that. What do you think they would have done at LSU with that talent? He would have found a way to fuck that up too, probably. But you would have had Caleb Williams there. He's better than Jaden Daniels. That's an opinion, but look, I mean, you didn't inherit anything from Helton. Yeah, I get it. But you took all the good pieces with you, or they went to the draft. And it was left bad. Aside from a bunch of young kids that didn't know the defense, I am grateful as all hell for Billy Bowman. Grateful as all hell for him and Danny Stutzman and Ethan Downs and Woody Washington. Grateful. But those are the only dudes that are left. Only dudes left. What's up there, Robbie? Good to see you, my man. Sooner fan 71. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's a dumb narrative. It's a stupid narrative anyway. Number one, why they're trying to hold on so tight to this guy. I mean, obviously, they owe him a lot of money. He's not really going anywhere, I don't think. I guess they could fire him. Jimbo, I don't know that they have the same kind of money as A&M has, but theoretically, they could. Sugoi, what's up, my man? Good to see you. No, man. Yeah, but that was kind of hit and miss because those guys were always in trouble. Yeah, it's all good. What did you say? Sorry. Well, you just had to get that up on the screen, huh? Let me see what else you got. Mistake or pity for hate. Yeah, and look, I'm a big fan of USCJ. We got another guy that's been on here with me before, Eric. He's a USC fan as well, but he's about to start a podcast with a Sooner guy that from California as well. Those are really the only two SC guys that I really have anything to do with at this point. But I've never had a problem with SC up until just recently. I mean, obviously the national championship didn't make me happy that year. But I mean, you got beat fair and square. That was probably another one of the best all-time teams in college football history. Unbelievably good. Not just with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and Lindell White and the guys that they had at Williams and those guys, the receivers. It wasn't just them. They also had the best defense in the country too. You got to win with defense. That's not what they have there. When you keep the freaking Tybo instructor and they stay soft, and they've said it on their show a million times that they've been soft. Tim will never say it. He's even got his own audience calling him a bootlicker all the time at this point. Yep, we got beef in the trenches now. And the other thing is, it's not even just that. Look, what did I say last night? The brand, they were on brand. All of them are they're all acting and talking like Coach Venables and that staff. Challenge. You hear that, those key words. We're ready for the challenge. We're excited. This is an elite conference, but we're going to go in there and get it done. We're happy to be a part of it. Billy Bowman goes in there and says nice things about every one of the freaking quarterbacks that he could spout off. Even Nico, being a freshman, he didn't talk trash. Did he say anything about Quinn though? I don't remember him saying Quinn. I know he said Carson. He said something about kid at LSU. Yeah. Peyton Thorne, he said something about. That was funny. Well, right. Yeah, but the G5 starts, that guy was the number one center prospect in the portal, period. You know, from SMU. And they're a Power 5. They were getting ready to go to the Power 5. I mean, it's the ACC. But SMU's got a chance to make noise in there. I don't know how much depth they have that first time around. But the bottom line is, look, Oklahoma is definitely in better shape and going into a tougher conference. If they had the same record this year, like say it was 9-3, 8-4, do you know how much better it would be that either one of those records for Oklahoma than it'll be for USC? It's not even close. They don't have to play Ohio State or Oregon, the two best teams in the whole deal. That's going to put them in a situation where they could literally, if they were to get to, say they did go, there ain't no damn way this happens, but let's say they did go undefeated, just like Ohio State did. They're going to be in the Big Ten championship game, and Oregon would get left out if Ohio State or whichever team lost that game, assuming that they beat Michigan. It's wild, though. First time I ever hear curious. How do you all feel OU will do this year? I honestly think the SEC media made a mistake by pissing OU off. I think you're right, Mizzou champ. Welcome into the show. Yep. What are you saying, Cowpoke? They'll look pretty good trying to cosplay us at SEC Media Days? Come on. Bro. Cowpoke, you're a funny guy, man. You're a funny guy. Yeah, he's a good OC. We get it. I mean, what else? What else you got? At some point, you got to do more. You were getting buried about laughing about the Wiley hire on Twitter. I heard it all, that I was mad because he wasn't at UT anymore. I forgot he was at UT before that. He's literally has those videos out like P90X kind of shit. Tybo. Billy Blank's number 2. Make it make sense. You can talk to all those guys that were there. They were like, man, there was guys that ended up transferring out at some point, right? And they would go to some little small FCS school or group of 5, and they'd be like, man, the weight training program's on another level. What's up there, Mike Jacobs? Thanks for coming in, my man. Good to see you. Yeah. It's again, it's really not that close. It's just really not. And look, you can say if you want to say that Lincoln's better because he did whatever he did. The fact is this: he did inherit a roster that it took him that long to really get rid of. Plus, then Schmitty stayed around for a year before he hired Wiley and fired him. I mean, it is what it is, but that gave him another year to. But even then, they were smaller. Yeah. Well, it was Baker Mayfield. And yeah, I mean, look, they were loaded. When you've got Baker and Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, I mean, come on. They were filthy good. Ramondre Stevenson, guys like that. Hey, and I'll say this again. You guys know that I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and tells you the dude can't call an offense, because he can. He takes his foot off the brakes at the wrong time. He doesn't do well with the clock, but he can draw it up, and he will put his good guy against your good guy and win matchups. He knows what he's doing there. I've seen him run the football better than I've seen most people, especially spread guys, air raid dudes. North and South, too. They've obviously had great running backs there. Part of that had to do with, hey, man, Kel Gundy could recruit his ass off when it came to running backs. Recruit his ass off. Just like Emmett Jones is doing with the receivers now. And obviously, hey, look, we're seeing the same thing from DeMarco as far as recruiting these running backs. It's Oklahoma. You're going to get them. Again, it didn't start and end with Lincoln Riley. But what you now have is, well, here's the other thing that they did this year. This is something that probably we're not talking enough about. And Riley's still not doing it. Special teams coordinator. A guy that's been a special teams specialist coordinator for 2 decades. One of the best in the business. They're actually going to make it a priority. That's another thing that's big. Strength and conditioning, defense, now a freaking special teams group. I'm telling you, it's big. Wow, man. Yeah, another one. I don't know how we keep attracting these cool Mizzou fans. Welcome into the show, man. It's kind of surprising because, well, Twitter is a weird place, though. It is a weird place. I never understood why I did it either, but I mean, honestly, there was people that were just, and look, that's the one thing I will say about it, USC fans. Oklahoma fans were kind of the same way when it came to Lincoln and people bashing it. They are comfortable, man. They are taking on the identity of Coach Venables and that staff, man. That's what we're talking about. They're tough. Look, they're not just winning these guys because of money and all that shit. People want to talk about the money and NIL and all that. And you got to play the NIL game. We know that. But that's I didn't know they had fans. Yeah, well, you're not on Twitter, you would. They're wild. They're wild, First Lady. Wild. But I get it, I mean, Oklahoma fans are rough too. But look, I wouldn't, you know, and coach got a little hot under the collar about that last night. If they go 10-2, why couldn't they get to the final? If they go 10-2 in the SEC with that schedule. I got to thinking about that last night when I was working. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't want to argue with them, but we'll talk later. Anyway, I don't know, man. It is, man. But that's the whole thing. Is like, why did they look? Feinbaum didn't say anything about Oklahoma. He wasn't comparing him to Venables or any of that shit. He was saying he sucked when he was here. When it came, he's never put a defense on the field, and he'll be surprised if he's not a coordinator in the NFL next year. Look, I tend to doubt they're going to give him $90 million to not coach, but then again, you never know. That Matt Ince hire, maybe Jen Cohen brought him in to, if this don't work out with Lincoln, slide in there because he's the assistant head coach. He's a defensive guy. I could see it. Won back-to-back national championships at the FCS level, highly respected. She did the same thing with Kalen DeBoer at Washington. I could see that. I don't know. I'm not predicting anything. I'm saying I could see that. But I find it hard to believe that they're going to fire him owing him $90 million. Do I agree that Paul is a tool? No. Paul's different. I don't think that Paul's an analyst so much. I think the one thing that I probably agreed with was, and I watched it on YouTube. I watched the whole, or not all of it, but some of it anyway. And Mark Rogers, voice of college football, Mark Rogers was saying that what Paul Feinbaum is he's got his radio show. He's got a large following in the South. And it's the call-in stuff, but you don't hear him breaking down stuff. He understands the business of college football, and particularly in the SEC. I think he's entertaining. I think his show's entertaining. Does he do stuff for clicks? Probably. Well, what does that make him different from anybody else? No, it doesn't. They all do that shit. Barrett Slee and all these other guys. Just say shit just to say it. But you got to tell me where Paul's wrong, Bumbo. Tell me where he's wrong. Do I think the DC at USC was not a Lincoln Riley hire? I think he got help. I think they did. Look, here's what they like to do at SC. Whoa, Cowpoke Ranch, my man. He is an opinion, but he's not much like an analyst, though. Can he be a bit of a tool? Sure. He understands the business part, and he knows what he's doing too. Cowpoke Ranch, $50 super chat, but no chat. What else you got? You got something to say here? I'll throw this back up there again. Impressed by OU's presence for a first-year program. They look pretty comfortable. And again, they are. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's a big amount. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you very much. They are. And Oklahoma is. Look, it's what I was saying earlier. They are. You heard different words out of their mouth, the different things they were talking about, but it was all the same message. We're here. We respect the league. It's an elite league. It's the best league. We're elite too. We're not bowing down to anybody, and we're here to play. They believe, and look, that's all. It's the same shit that Venables said. What did he say? Oklahoma takes a back seat to nobody. This is a union of elite coming into the most elite conference there is. And he's not wrong. But anybody that thought they were going to walk in and lick anybody's boots, not happening. Nor should they, you know. That AD was from USC. What AD? Jen Cohen was at Washington. She hired Kalen DeBoer whenever the last AD hired Lincoln, the guy that they just fired. He did go off on him. But again, I mean, what was he wrong, though? I mean, when it came to that, I don't see where he was wrong. right? Did she graduate from USC? Okay. But she was certainly, though, she was the athletic director. She's one of the best athletic directors in the country. There's no doubt. We're supposed to have Coach I thought maybe coming in. I haven't heard back from him, but thought he was going to come in, and then I don't know what happened to the stash. He was supposed to be here about 15 minutes ago. Let me text him. Anyway, I mean, we don't have to stay on this all day because there's more to talk about. There's plenty more to talk about. That's why I wanted those other guys to come in as well. But in the end, I just think that I think it's funny that you have these folks still, you know, whatever Feinbaum have to say, I don't give a shit. It don't have nothing to do with us. It don't have nothing to do with us. You know? Anyway, pretty wild. Okay, well, so we've had 200 plus people in here. We've got 20 likes. Come on now. Make sure you hit that like button. For anybody who, if you're watching us on Twitter, if you wouldn't mind, it's at CFB-pod on YouTube. The link should be there wherever you're watching us. Come over and hit that like button at least, right? We'd appreciate that. Sandy Green. Riley isn't showing the development of the team that could make them better. We are blessed to have BV. No doubt. There's no doubt about it. There's just no doubt about it. Look, that's the one thing. It's not a debate anymore. It's not a debate about whether or not, look, even if Riley turns it around at USC, it does not have anything to do with it is absolutely wonderful that he's not at Oklahoma anymore. Shelby said it. She's a Georgia fan. She said, you can, when you're running from the SEC, it's good he's not here. He's still running from the SEC. He tried to get out of the LSU game for 2 years. BK wouldn't let him out. He was even trying to use their agent to talk him out of it. Nope, not doing it. And then they just flat canceled the one with Ole Miss and want to tell everybody that was a mutual decision. It wasn't mutual. The Ole Miss AD came out and said so. Hey, hit the like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified. That sounds like pot right there. I like it. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you. Lance B, thank you, sir. Welcome into the show. Bishop Frank, my man. How you doing, man? Yeah. What? Oh. Love the SEC commissioner saying 16 today and 16 tomorrow. Do you think that means he is happy and doesn't want to add to the SEC from here? Right now, they don't. That's clear. Either does the Big Ten. That's why I don't know that. I've been telling you guys I don't think that the ACC is really coming apart. Even if, I mean, okay, so you're hearing now, and listen, I listened to Fitz from K-State, Go Power Cat. He believes that it's a package for all four. Wild Utes also been saying that a lot too. They're trying to put together a package where they might even pay the buyout from the ACC for Florida State, Miami, Clemson, and Louisville. I struggle with it, but I don't know. I guess with all this, look, I'm not going to act like I really know where they're at financially. I do know they're talking about a lot of that private equity money. We'll kind of have to wait and see on that, but I feel like that's one of those. What we heard was it was not even, they didn't have the opportunity to not do it. They canceled the game. They can take them to court or something like that, I guess, if they want to. But it was a home at home that was set up before, but I don't think it was going to start until like next year, the year after. But Go back and look at what the athletic director from Ole Miss said. The thing about the LSU game is that was the Ole Miss and the LSU game aren't the same. They were home and home. So that's a little easier to get out of than one that you're going to Vegas and they're paying you like $10 million or $5 million to come and do it. Start of the year game. That's a different deal. I put it in there. I thought I did put it in there. Hold on, I'll put it in there. Give me a second. Headed that way. No, it was right above it. Oh, maybe not. What the heck? Sorry about that, Jake. It's in there now, bud. Sorry. No, but it's not the same thing, though. That's not the no. It's not the same thing. Listen, all I'm telling you is it wasn't a mutual. It wasn't a mutual thing, and I guarantee you that Lane Kiffin wanted to play that game. That's a good way for him to get back at USC. Come and kick their ass in the Coliseum. Yeah, I got it. You are indeed.
Boom.
What's up there? Jake Merrill, welcome to the show.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Man, we had a fun time last night. If for those who didn't tune in, the coach was hilarious, by the way.
He was.
Freaking hilarious. Dude, I haven't laughed that hard in a minute. And Rhyming Lemon, I appreciate you giving me a sub. If everybody in here could please give me a sub. That set the tone, Alabama and college football talk. Please. Please come give me a sub.
You have that in your deal here?
Is it in there? I don't know. Yeah, just use my boop, boop, boop.
That's it.
Yep.
At Coach Jamer. If you put that in on YouTube, it'll find his channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some Oklahoma stuff here soon for you guys on that secondary. Yeah, getting after it. But Jason, how you doing, man? I love coming on with you in the mornings, dude. It's one of my favorite days.
Good to see you, man.
You know? Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm always down for when you come in, man. We like talking. Okay, I have put that and saved it in the description as well. You can just click on that link at the very top of the description box. Take you right to it.
Thank you, Jason.
Right to it. No worries. No worries. Yeah.
Dude.
Lemon gave you one. Let's see who else. Wiley. Yeah, everybody's happy to see you in here too. Benji subbed the other night. Mars Jams. It looks like I think all these guys are probably already subbed to you, man.
Yeah, they've been cool about it, man. Everyone's been awesome. I appreciate you guys. I hope everybody's having a great day. Yeah.
Woo. I'm going to ask you one thing before we get off of this, because we are going to get off this. I'm kind of done.
Oh, we're getting off.
What is it that you guys love about Lincoln, though? What is it that you really? I mean, look. Do you really think that everybody at Oklahoma is just lying about this guy? That it's just all bullshit? Because that's what they're making it sound like. And it's, I mean, we've seen this movie over and over. It's like all the stuff that he says, he's the only one saying it. It's only coming from Lincoln. It makes me, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Lance B subbed, good stuff.
No, I appreciate you guys 100%. You know what's interesting too is who brought this up? I was just, I was just reading something last night. Just last night on
look at this shit. I'll share it for you so you can see what I was talking about. Let me see what oh, okay. I'll share the screen again.
Please, please, please. Maybe this is the same thing I saw. Let me blow this up, Jason. Let me see here.
Oops, wrong one.
Well, that's not it. Is that it? No. Oh, okay. Just kidding.
Stupid. My bad. Grab the wrong one. My fault. Here it is.
Let me see this.
Brent Venables conversation. You know, if we are going to have a Lincoln Riley conversation at USC, we need to have a Brent Venables conversation at Oklahoma. And Oklahoma fans, like, they are bullish on Venables, and I'm not going to criticize them for that. But what I am going to criticize from Oklahoma fans, since we're on this topic, is that, like, they are just so upfront in saying, oh, it was so clearly good for Oklahoma football that Lincoln Riley left. All right, I mean, can we just pick that apart for a bit? Lincoln Riley took you to 3 playoffs. Now, did he do that with what Bob Stoops left him in the cupboard? Yes. Like, not arguing that. But still, 3 straight playoffs, 4 straight Big 12 championships. That's a lot of achievement right there. Brent Venables hasn't yet made a playoff, you know, hasn't yet gotten Oklahoma to the standards that Lincoln Riley achieved. And all the chips are on the middle of the table in terms of Jackson Arnold. Like Brent Venables is betting the farm.
That one is so stupid right there. All the chips are in the middle of the table in terms of Jackson Arnold. Who's starting quarterback do you not have your chips in the middle of the table for?
Well, I mean, it's regardless of the argument that's made here, because this isn't like I don't think this is a very good argument. But Robbie, what's up, Shelby? But yeah, but here's what I want to say. I think when Paul Feinbaum says, "Hey, man, like, it seems like you just ran away," which you found out there on SEC, and you bounced thinking it was going to be you're going to have an easier job at USC doing the recruiting. You know, man, thanks, Bishop. Appreciate you, dog. Here's the thing is, I don't know how. When Paul especially notices it, right? Because Paul's not going to say, the one thing I like about Paul is he just kind of says exactly what's on his mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's just pretty direct. And you know, coming from like the police law enforcement world, I'm all about directness. Because you know, you got to be direct. You just got to be direct.
Yeah. The truth. I'm better with the truth than I am with bullshit.
Well, 100%. And so I think here's the thing is, like, if Lincoln, I think Lincoln would earn everyone's respect this way, is if he just said, you know what, I need to go somewhere I fit better. Like, why won't people just say that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, just be like, hey, here's the deal. This doesn't work for me. You know, at this point in time, maybe I wasn't, like, it was an opportunity. It was great. It did not fit what I'm about. And to say, like, Brent Venables, I think, you look back on, again, I have argued this so much, and this is why I say Oklahoma's that team, is Brent Venables fits Oklahoma's, like, overall look, right? Like, if you look at Oklahoma and you were to pick a word to put over Oklahoma football, I want to know what everyone's word would be. Mine would probably be grit, right? Grit, or it would be something like, you know,
okay, Chris.
One word, like badass, you know, Chris, what's up, dog? I'll get with you here later today, my friend. But like, because Oklahoma football, from a standpoint of just, if there's one team that you could think through the history of the NCAA that is a type of defense, or that everyone labels as somebody, was that team that would, like, I say it over and over again, punch you in the mouth, right? It was Oklahoma football. Like, can you think of any other program legitimate in Alabama? Alabama is, I think of, I would say, legendary, right? Because they have a crazy championship history. Sure. That is one thing about Alabama.
More than everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. And every year you can say at times, like, their defense was either really strong, really fast, athletic, a lot of words. One thing that's always consistent, or should be always consistent with the program at Oklahoma, is their toughness. Like, they are just, is that, you know, Jason Aldean has Flyover States. You know what I'm talking about? The song Flyover States.
Yeah.
Where it's all about, like, those states. Yeah, dude, that's like hardworking, like, to the grind type of people that will go out there. They'll take the shirt off your back for you. But at the same time, you know, if you want someone who's going to defend America, it would be these people. That's how I see, like, Oklahoma. Right? Like, the Oklahoma as a football program, how I've always seen it, even growing up. Right? Because I've always seen them as just a hard nose, like, they get after it type of program. So right. Brent Venables fits that mold. That's what they needed to get back to being who they were after having somebody comes in who is a little more finesse guy, you know?
Finesse, yeah.
There's
Or in other words,
there's
soft.
rock star and there's EDM, right? Rock star and EDM. You like that comparison? That's kind of funny, huh?
That's
You know?
funny.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Funny, actually.
You know, there's the banger music and then there's EDM. Right. So yeah, that's the thing is like, that's the thing about it is I think, and that's the hard part too of him going to USC. Now at the same time, I'm going to give him credit for what he's done.
Tough. He thought he was running away from tough. Dude. Imagine when he found out that they were going to the Pac-12, he was like, shit.
Or
can't
the
get
Big
away
Ten.
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Big Ten.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
But
look, this is I don't know what we're talking about with this laying an egg thing. What is that? I mean, yeah. What are we even talking about? 0 OU and 0 Heisman's produced by Venables in comparison to who gives a shit about a Heisman? Go win a national championship. They got
no one cares about those. Those are individual awards. You know what I'm saying? Those are individual awards. Nobody.
Bro.
Yeah.
He had Dylan Gabriel compared to Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams. He could have won the Heisman at Oklahoma just like he won it at USC. Come on, man.
Well, regardless, like let's just take that away. Let's look at Dylan Gabriel. If they would have done what they're supposed to do, and I don't know whose shoulders you put that on. Okay. You shoulder as a team, like as far as after you beat Texas, Dylan Gabriel should have been very much right there in the Heisman talk if they would have done what we all thought they were going to do.
He was probably leading the Heisman race at that moment.
He's in like the top 2.
When you lose games, you're out. Pretty much. Except for Jaden Daniels didn't because he broke all those records. So, I mean, he did what he did. And Penix, if it wasn't him, it was going to be Penix. You know, it was going to be one of them.
Well, I think Penix should have won. I mean, I like Jaden Daniels' numbers, but what's the Heisman based off of?
What did they do without Jaden Daniels, though?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
They had a way tougher strength of schedule than anybody else in the country, even. So 9-3, and
that's good.
I mean, he was ridiculous.
Jaden played phenomenal.
Single-handedly carried them.
You know what's funny?
Receivers, right?
We can say a lot of this too, Jason, on the fact of like they give like this Jackson Arnold comparison.
Look at that. First lady's got it right. They would trade that Heisman for a natty tomorrow. I would.
Yep. In a heartbeat. You kidding me? In a heartbeat. That goes.
You don't think that Baker Mayfield would have traded his Heisman or Kyler for a natty? You know they would.
Oh yeah. Well, Heisman's great and all, but
it's cool. But it ain't that cool. Yeah.
Well, it's better to share a legacy than to be one by yourself.
Absolutely. Hey man.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather share it with team.
Win the Heisman that year when the last time they won it, and a lot of people were pissed that he didn't because the defense had a big part of that though too. But that offense definitely carried them at the start of the year. At the end of the year, it was that nasty defense, man. And Boy and all those dudes, man. Golly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oklahoma should always be defined as a football team by their defense. They should have a great offense, don't get me wrong, but their defense should always define that team. Oklahoma, in my mind, is the Baltimore Ravens of the NFL. Okay. Right. Baltimore is known, especially after what they did under I forgot the coach's name, but with like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and everybody they had.
Oh yeah.
At
Miami, that was, oh my Lord. They had guys that played special teams and didn't even start that were unbelievable there.
Oh yeah.
They'll go through that old roster. It's sick. I'll tell you this, guys. Here's what I'm going to say. Yes, they've been trying to win the wrong way. Guys, let me say this. I'm going to tell you now, when you start thinking about this whole deal, you can say, and this is the last thing that I don't even want to really continue talking about this, but I'll tell you that what they're saying on that show, what they were getting at was that Tim was trying to say that, no, he didn't. he didn't get anything from Helton. They didn't leave him anything either. Yeah, but you brought your Heisman quarterback with you. And why is it that Brent Venables gets blamed for the roster that Lincoln left behind? They literally, it's completely unrealistic talk that he left him an 11-2 team. No, he didn't. Not only did Caleb go, but so did Spencer, who started the year as a 5-star starter. It wasn't the same football team. You lost 13 guys off of a shitty defensive depth chart.
Well, and Jason, what's interesting too is the fact that most of the time when you leave a team, right, like not everybody is given what Kalen DeBoer is given in like a foundational program that's set up for success, that is in position to be great, right? Like, and to continue winning ways, like not everybody's given the Nick Saban special. Okay.
True.
Like PV had to go in there and reinvent.
What Brent Venables inherited is not the same thing that Lincoln Riley inherited. When he got
the
reason he did what he did was because he inherited a well-oiled machine that was still running. It just took him 6 years to run it completely off the tracks. He didn't have that kind of runway at USC.
Well, agreed.
He didn't. That's why it looked really good the first year when they didn't have to play Washington or Oregon. It looked really good. They lost the first game to Utah and then lost to them in Vegas too. But
I should have said something right there.
You have the Heisman Trophy winner, but you didn't have to play those two teams, and then you lost to Tulane. Look, Tulane Willie Fritz is a hell of a coach. That was a nice team. You can't lose that game. You were up 21 in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think that said a lot about SC. Well, not only that, but losing to Utah twice, right?
Yeah, and the second one, they got the shit kicked out of them. And they were up 17 and got shit kicked out of them.
Yes, like Utah came in. I mean, well, and here's the thing too, right? Is like, okay, so you leave, you go to a USC program, and we could say that you didn't inherit the greatest, right, from the USC standpoint, because they were struggling. But at the same time, like USC, you think, especially with the hype that was around Caleb Williams, around Riley, that he would have been able to really get it together quickly, which they thought that he did. And then this last year, you're like, whoa, what the hell happened? Right now, you look at BV though, and people are like, well, BV should be on the
runway that he had when he took over for Bob Stoops. That thing he's been running for 20 years almost.
100. And
they have a recruiting thing in place. He didn't have to change out his staff. I mean, yes, did you inherit Mike Stoops? Yeah, you did. But then you made a bad hire with Alex Grinch because of, I mean, look, he had done what he had done at Washington State, but they ran his ass out of Ohio State quickly. Get the fuck out. Because they're used to seeing. Yeah, I don't know why they do. Again, the only thing I'm saying is like it's completely, it's not the same thing that they're talking about. And they immediately go after Venables whenever Paul Feinbaum wasn't talking about BV. He wasn't comparing him to BV. He wasn't. He was saying his ass is going to get fired if he doesn't figure it out on defense. And he never has figured it out on defense. Joe Castiglione at the SEC party on July 1st said, everybody was down for the SEC move. Every coach in our system. The ones that aren't here.
Yep. I mean, he's saying it without saying it, right? But here's the thing: is like, don't bring Brent Venables into this when he has to like reset a program again. Like what I was saying, and this, to the extent we can almost give.
Venables said you got to pare down to the studs. He said it.
Yeah.
First, immediately said nobody wanted to hear that shit because they got used to what they got used to. But until it broke all the way down and tore back all the way, you could never build it into what you have to go to the SEC. The bottom line is there's no doubt that they're in the only hands that they needed to be in for this move, period.
Agreed. And I can almost give the same argument to Lincoln, though, in a weird way. But here's the deal. I don't feel like Lincoln, with what he brought in this year, will be a very impressive sign. Do I think they would fire him this year if he didn't do well? No, because it's year one, the Big Ten, and they're going to be like, well, here's this. You have a new defensive staff.
What
blah
is
blah blah.
bad though? If you've been
I know.
7-5 once, if you go 7-5 again, they're saying that they wouldn't do it this year no matter what. I think if he was like below 500, yes, they would, because that schedule. No, Ohio
below 500,
Oregon, yeah. No Ohio State or Oregon. Your tougher games are at home. You know.
But I think where it really where he has the hot seat is the following season, which is going to be unique. I think there you have to be competing for a Big Ten championship.
7-5, no way.
No, not at USC. Not at USC. That expectations not would. Here's another thing too. Is like Jen Cohen is not some like slow mover when it comes to winning.
I'm glad you're here to talk about Jen Cohen. They would have never hired him. They would have hired Kalen DeBoer at SC if she had been there at that time.
I don't think they would have been able to get him. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not think he would have left Washington, but I do think she would have.
Oh, they got the
from Fresno. Yes,
Washington at the same time that Lincoln got the job.
It's 100. Jen Cohen. I don't think like everyone realizes. So those AD positions, you look and see like, you look at Greg, right? And forgive me forgetting his Burns. You look at Burns over at Alabama. Burns makes like very strategic moves. One thing he did that with Nate Oates. He's done it now with Kalen DeBoer. You can start to see what he does and puts in place to win. Jen Cohen is very strategic as well. And Jen will go outside of the box. She is an outside of the box thinking AD, right? But here's another thing with her is she wants results very quickly. Even at UW, she had her own standard of what the expectation was. That expectation was not met under Jimmy Lake. She had the way out with Jimmy Lake after what had happened. Granted, I don't think it was that big of a deal, but they sure everyone made it into a big deal. Jimmy Lake's gone, and boom, next thing you know, she goes and grabs somebody with a resume that people, I think, a lot of people ignored.
Fresno had stumbled and they weren't doing anything, and he immediately flipped that thing immediately.
Well, yeah, and the COVID season is such a bullshit season because if you take that away, he's going to have he's going to have even more wins, right? But the COVID season's BS. So then we look at what Jen's about to do at SC from that standpoint, and Lincoln. I'm interested to know how that mesh is going. Like, how is that fitting right now? Right? Because
I feel like maybe she went and got her head coach in Matt Ince.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that a little bit, and I could see that potentially being the case. But at the same time,
maybe she likes Danton Lynn.
Maybe that's the route she goes. I don't know. Jen's strategic. She's very smart. So if her and Lincoln are not meshing, she is already looking at what options to bring SC to where they need. She's not going to say, okay, she is going to say, here's this year, like prove to me why you're worth it. Right. Like, do you deserve this spot? Because just from history standpoint, SC is supposed to run the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is are they relevant right now? No. Nobody is sitting there. USC had a couple of hot shot recruits, and then all of a sudden, all of them decommitted. Who knows where Justice Terry's going to go? We already know.
Georgia. We know he's going to Georgia.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Justice Mom loves the staff at Alabama.
Okay, well, listen. Whatever happens,
we'll see about that one.
He's not going to USC. And the problem is, and I said this last night. The biggest problem that they really have with him now, okay, so let's say he hadn't lost all these guys already, right? And he already kind of has. But if you don't go out there and put up 9 or 10 wins, which, listen, I did that video with the CFB professor. His analytics are the most they're on it. But even he said, I don't know about this 11-1, 12-0. I think they go 9-3. I've been saying 8-4. If you don't win at least 9 or 10 games your first year in the Big Ten, how are you going to recruit those guys? And you're not doing your job in the state of California. We got Jaden O'Neal coming in 26. there's 5 guys going to Alabama. 5 of the best recruits in the state are going to Bama, and 4 are going to Oregon.
I know.
How is it that they used to there? It was a no-brainer. Whoever they wanted, they got in that state.
Yeah.
Nobody. It just like we talked about Kirby. He puts a wall up around Georgia, and it's hard to get in it.
Yeah, and it's a unique, right? But again, like what we're about to see, the season's going to be tall. It's going to be really telling, because I don't think people realize too is like when you sit there and you as a recruit, you're watching the season. You either are getting excited to be part of this team, you start to feel that pride that like I get, or you start to be like, man, I don't know if this is the spot for me, right? Like. I look back on like my recruiting process, and the funny part is I was like a young, immature kid with not very good guidance. My mom was phenomenal. I love my mama, but in the end of the day, that was the guidance. Like I'm from like a homeschool background that was pretty boxed in, so I didn't know a whole lot. Right nowadays with social media and the way it is, and the way everything's presented, you get to see a whole lot of options. You really get to see that. You really get a good feel for things, right? And there's a lot of people out there to guide you and help you. And the season plays a heavy part too on that influence, especially with the way college football is covered now, right? Like it's covered on this grand scale. Like you could almost argue from a standpoint that college football, even though the NFL get pissed off about this, that college football is way more, tuned in with fan bases compared to NFL.
Yeah, because of the recruiting side of it. You don't get to recruit in the NFL. You have to. It's just drafting.
Yeah,
so, and that's because you've got that's the whole deal with parity. And this is not what they're trying to do in college football. Just so everybody understands that. That's never going to be the goal. No, I hadn't posted that part of it. I did the first half. It was all SC, Notre Dame, Big Ten. So I've got to finish the edit on that other one sooner. But you think bet players are tired of getting asked if they are SEC ready? Yeah, well, that's the narrative that they have out there, guys. That's the narrative.
Of course, they're getting sick of that.
Yeah, they're sick of it.
I can tell you that right now.
They were sick of it yesterday. You could tell.
Yeah, like they're like, what?
Tired of it. They handled it very well, though.
No, they did. Great job. Great job.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the Alabama press conference stuff yet, so I can't wait to watch that. Yeah, tune in.
So that should be. Is it coming up now or when?
They were already on? Yeah, because they're at 9 a.m. Down in Dallas. So yeah, I'm excited to watch that, see what's said, and break it down from a standpoint of what my thought process is, how things are handled. You know what I mean? It's so crazy because Coach brought up this. This starts like this thing last night around like how he thinks like the most. Oh, Jeff Lebby's on now, dude. Did you see Jeff Lebby's comment around Lane kicking him?
I need to see what he says.
Yeah.
What did he say?
So everyone asked. They were sitting there saying, how do you feel about the Egg Bowl and Lane giving you a hard time? And he's like, well, I think it's kind of childish, but. And I'm like, dude, have fun with it, man. Come on, Jeff. I think you're muted, Jason. Are you muted?
That's just Lane. He is childish. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. I think Lane just is kind of like, dude, I'm not going to take everything serious and go all crazy and shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, don't take it serious. Have fun. Yeah. Have discipline, but have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's huge.
I think Jeff is not as unfun as he seems. Like he seemed really dry. Yeah, but Coach Venables was talking him up yesterday, so I don't know.
Oh, dude, Jeff does a great job. It'll be interesting to see as a first year head coach at Mississippi State.
I think he's going to dial up stuff to put some teams in jeopardy. I mean, I don't expect a ton of wins from them because they have to rebuild too much, and I don't really like Blake Shapen much. I don't see it.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what who's it? Longstreet they have coming in. Husan Longstreet. The dude at the quarterback. Yeah.
Oh
my God.
Is he a Mississippi or Alabama kid or?
Mississippi. I think it's Mississippi, dude. Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Dude, that guy has a freaking
like the number one player in the state or whatever, right?
I don't know because I think Caleb Cunningham and Ackland Deer are 1 and 2, but he's up there for 26. He might be, but no, sorry, he's 25. Let me look at that. But dude, that guy has a cannon at Elite 11. Man, he looked good. Yeah, he needs to get a little more accurate, but at the same time, he had like his arm strength was phenomenal. So Jeff should have fun with
talking about Oklahoma right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. And he's talking about how they're going to probably be able to do ball control more. He said we had to be more tempo. Deesh, Michael, over under how many years it'll take. If you don't know that by now, how would you ever know it? I mean,
as just
because they're not in the SEC doesn't mean that they don't see what's happening. I mean, this is a narrative that's pushed by ESPN and everybody. They're a brand. They want them to be good. They've always wanted that. It is what it is with Texas, man.
Yeah.
And Texas has talent. They've got talent, but the problem is are they gonna I think offensive line wise, they're doing a great job recruiting. I don't think I think Kyle's probably a bit better recruiter, Kyle Flood, than what BB is, because he's just different. But he's not nearly the developer that Beatonbow is. But they've done a great job there on that side of it. On the other side, they've struggled with recruiting because even Bo Davis wasn't a great recruiter on the D line, but he was a really good developer. I think they're in trouble on defense, man. I do. I've heard people saying that they think that TK is a really great defensive coordinator. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, and I don't know. Like, I mean, Pete does the best he can, right? Like, it will be interesting to see. I mean, he felt like he did pretty good last year. So we'll see where he rolls going into this season. Because I think last year, too, you had some, it was key that you had the defensive line that you had. I mean, your defensive line was studly. And you had pretty good linebackers, too. So, Yeah.
Look, well, but it wasn't as full in there at that point, and really they had the development it's been a work in progress, but they just didn't have the guys. And now having DJ Terry coming back, he was at Tennessee before, adding Dominic Williams, and then adding Stoney and Jaden Jackson. Plus, you've got Grayson Halton starting to look like he's really coming along. They're all pushing that 300 mark finally to where they've got the size that you need them to have in the middle. I think this is Todd Bates' time right now. He's doing a great job, right? And he's a developer. He's never had a guy that he coached before he got to Oklahoma. And I don't know how it's going to work out with the guys that came and didn't, but he never had a guy from Jacksonville State or Clemson that he didn't coach to be an all-conference player ever.
Oh, yeah.
And Todd, of course, he went to Alabama. So, he played at Alabama. So he's that dude, man. They've got these dudes everywhere. And then your secondary guys, Jeremiah Hall and, Jay Valai, they're killing it. Killing it.
Oh, yeah. And again, I just think that we'll see.
He's good.
Who is? Yeah, Hill's a good linebacker.
Yeah, he's really good.
100%. Yeah.
But they're not as good at linebackers as they were last year when they still had an All-American there last year. He got drafted too. That's the thing I would just tell you about Texas is that, look, I'm not saying they can't win because they have a schedule that can help them win. I'm telling you, they probably are going to lose 3 to 4. Because I don't see them beating Oklahoma. They just don't beat Oklahoma, and they're not beating Georgia.
Yeah, no, not week 7.
They're gonna get into a fist fight in week 2. And I don't know if they're ready for that.
Well, it's funny. It's interesting you bring that up because granted, they do perform based on what we've seen, right? With Sark's teams. They do well early on in the season.
That was their big loss right there. And Bo Davis. Go ahead. Sorry. It's funny I bring
No,
that up.
no, but it's funny you bring that up because I do think that Michigan game, Michigan's another team right now that's being downplayed a lot because of what
See you,
they've
Ronnie.
lost.
Appreciate you, bud.
Yeah, see you, Lemon. Have a good day, man. But they've lost a lot, right? And everyone's like, okay, like they're not the same team. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think they still have that aura about them, that mentality about them that still like want to play tough-nosed football. And you look at who led that team really from a coaching standpoint during some really big games, and it was more, you know what I'm saying? So
Who?
Sharon at Michigan when they played Texas this year. Yeah. And so
I got you.
Sharon,
You were saying Texas. I was like, wait a minute.
no.
But
Yeah,
they
no.
lost, that's the weird thing is they keep talking about Michigan like that. They lost 13 players to the draft plus Harbaugh. I get it. Sharon did a great job coaching them up though.
Great job.
When he was when he was suspended. But Texas lost 11 and a coach. An important piece, right? It's they reload. Look, I've said this a bunch. I don't think that they're going to have a huge problem on offense because Sark knows what he's doing offensively.
Yeah, Sark's a great coordinator.
He got some guys to come in. Now, he didn't get a replacement for A.D. Mitchell, though.
No.
He don't have that big Moss dude that can go get up and just take whatever ball out of the air, 50-50 ball. He don't have that guy. Now he's got the speed dudes. But he's got one guy on the team that caught a football from Quinn last year. One. And he's a sophomore, true sophomore. But I don't know. To me, you're going to have to wait and see. But I think their problem is not offensively. It's going to be on defense. If you're soft in the middle, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to run it up the middle. And particularly, that's what Michigan's going to try to ugly that game up.
Oh, yeah.
Probably won't put the ball in the air once if they don't have to.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know even. That's one thing. I haven't dug into Michigan as much. That might be something I end up doing a video on just because to really see what they're about to be about. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you, like, it will definitely be a game that it makes me sit there and think with Texas, like, okay, this is the start. Either you guys are going to show some physicality and you're going to show maybe what you're bringing into the SEC, or you're going to show like where the weakness is at, right? As far as your team and what you're not bringing. So, and it's going to be key games, right? Because you're going to definitely see that sort of play. You're going to see when you play Georgia.
Thanks, Wiley. Appreciate
Later,
you.
Wiley. Man, see you, buddy. Yeah, so it's going to be fun to watch, man. So I'm excited for that. That's for sure. But again,
I think that's a tough early game. Maybe they win it, maybe they don't. But I've been saying this. I don't see them beating Oklahoma or Georgia, and then they got to deal with Texas A&M. They go on the road to Arkansas. That's a real rivalry there.
New Texas. Hey, you know what? A lot of people are talking about Arkansas being that tough game for a lot of people, man.
At least the last two that I know for sure.
Well, again, it's Arkansas.
And with Bobby P there, and they've got that quarterback. He's gonna look, if they're weak in the mid, this is a running quarterback that can throw some, and he's one guy that can exploit weaknesses is Bobby Petrino. With a running quarterback. Look, Lamar Jackson, he got him the Heisman.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Backup in Michigan is the real deal. This is Mike Boganowski's dad.
Oh, nice. Okay. What's up?
Yeah.
Mr. Boganowski, how you doing, man? Excited for your son.
Dude,
but
he's a big kid, right?
Really? Man, that's cool. Okay. That's something I was interested in. You know, because I wasn't sure.
Okay. I mean, here's the one thing about them is that they were always around the 15s area or whatever, but they were going and getting guys that fit what they were wanting to do, which is run the hell out of.
Well, you know what, Jason? I'll tell you, there's one. This is a Sooner Cowboy. Your comment on the Arkansas Florida A&M going to surprise some folks. I'm going to tell you what, I do think Florida is going to be a team I have said it again and again. If they can win at the beginning of the season, right, and they mesh well, especially now that kind of Billy's had that chance to put in a little bit of his culture. And people, I'm gonna tell you what, man, all you got to do is watch recruiting classes and see kind of what culture is like.
Is it Tuttle?
Florida,
Mark?
who?
Is it Tuttle? Is the backup guy? Mark Tuttle?
Mark Tuttle? I have to look. But Florida, man, I'm going to be interested to watch because they could definitely give people some hell. Oh, okay. But that's going to be Florida. I like Billy Napier too. And so I'm like, hey, man, let's see before everyone like writes Florida off on this brutal schedule. Let's see what they do from this standpoint, because Mertz is going to have to he did a good job taking care of the ball. He's productive. He's going to have to take a little more chances and be a little more aggressive. But it'd be interesting to see, man. Yeah. So, Orgy. That's who it is.
Oh, Orgy. Well, he's
a hell of a last name. But
Orgy.
Who?
He's the starter right now. That's the sophomore, but they have a graduate transfer that came in, Jack Tuttle. Never mind. And then Warren Davis Warren, and I don't know who that didn't go, but he's the 4th string. So I guess Orgy's moved up to the starting position according to our depth charts there. But yeah, Arkansas has been doing it. They beat Sark his first. That was one of those games that they had a halftime lead and lost. He lost the last 6 in a row until he beat K-State at the end. So Shelby, thank you for coming in, First Lady. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Shelby.
Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later on. You guys are you going on you got Just My Damn Opinion tonight?
Or it's either that or Between the Hedges.
But yeah, that's Respect the Hedges was last night. They go
Respect the Hedges,
for me, and they go for an hour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like those guys. They do such a good job. Coach I is great. Shoddy's great.
Oh yeah.
I've got to meet Shelby finally. That was awesome. But yeah, they asked what he thought of Seth Luttrell. What did he say?
I didn't really watch the whole thing there, but it sounded like he was saying basically that he liked what they did. They would probably take some of the tempo out of it because he likes to run the ball a little differently than what just the RPO. They're still going to run some RPO stuff, but it's not the exact same. There's not going to be a bunch of big changes. I just think the mix of pass run is probably going to be a little bit different.
I think you'll see more balance where like the setup for everything will be a lot more. I think it will be like transitioning from run to pass, and that the way he sets it up, I think it's going to be more fluid. To be honest with you, I really like Seth Luttrell, and I like the way he plays I like the way he thinks of football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, like
Cowboys, what did you get out of that when he asked that? When they asked him that?
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch today's coverage.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go back and watch it too. I've been recording all this, so
yeah. But
and then there's still Texas is coming. I think they're the last ones. But then who's the other one today? Bama, Jeff Lebby.
No,
Texas is last. Who's the other one? It's not A&M. Florida? Is Billy out there today?
It might be 4. I mean, is it 3 days or 4 days? I can't remember.
4 days.
Yeah, then maybe not. Texas. Maybe it's just 3 teams.
He brings a ton of experience. He does right by the people. He does right by the kids, and he's going to fight his butt off for the university. See, and all this, I mean, Jeff's been catching strays. There's a reason why he didn't say shit to anybody when he left. And Dylan was like, we're a little rough on Dylan and Jeff.
Yeah,
got used to, and it's just, I mean, look, man, I get it, but some fans were pretty bad. The whole Art Briles thing was a shit show. So That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm just gonna leave that one be. But this is
Yeah.
father-in-law, and it was not a cool thing. Jake's YouTube channel, it's in the top of the description. It's just at Coach J_Mur. I'll pull it
At
up.
Coach_J Mayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right there. Just search that. It's all capital letters.
But it's at the very top of the description box. It's that link is right there. So you'll see it. You can just tap it and you're there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Come check it out. Thanks, Boomer.
Yeah. I don't know. I hear he's okay. Good quarterback.
Nathan.
Listen, man. We know what kind of athlete AD was.
Dude. Man, I'll tell you what, if he's anything compared to Adrian, like, whoa.
He's gonna be a 5-star in Mars, you think so? Wow. That's saying something. I like hearing that. Is he coming to Oklahoma too? Surely he would not go to Texas, right?
No, there's no way. That'd be crazy.
Well, Oklahoma only got him because they were the first ones to go see his dad in prison.
Oh, yeah.
That was the deal. His dad said whoever shows up.
Yep.
And Kel Gundy and Stoops went. Hey, watch it there, Shoddy. There will be no AD hate going on up in here, sir.
Gee, what up, dog?
There will be none.
Yeah, no, I see that Sooner Cowboy with.
Hey, we're always UT slandering, bro. This is what we do.
Yep. Oh, hey, it's a good time.
I think you're a closet Sooner fan, anyways, Benji. That's my belief.
How did I know AD slander?
Yeah, no slander, maybe, bro.
No, that's man. I love that guy, man. Adrian Peterson. Gosh, I love watching. I used to love watching him run.
How many guys almost go out and break the freaking NFL rushing record a year after they tear their ACL?
Crazy, dude.
He's
just a freak of nature, man.
Different cat.
Hard too, dude. Likes to, he's all about that belt to ass, like Coach Sean.
Do you have a Discord, or I need to get you in our Discord anyway?
No, I don't have a Discord.
I'll send you a link.
So I do it. Yeah, I have a Twitter. That's it, a tweeter.
Discord's just like a place to hang, but apparently mine's flat and doesn't have enough shit in it. So Ryman Lemon, I'm going to make him an admin and let him work on it because I don't have time for it.
I like it, man.
But any of you other folks that I know, Sooner Cherry Bear was also could do a lot of that stuff, and then we had what's his name too that was like that. I don't know. I don't really know that much about it. I know you can do a lot more stuff than what we're doing, just chatting in there. So,
and Discord,
such a thing, yeah.
It's quite there's a whole bunch of things you can do. It's interesting for sure. I mean, I like it. It's cool, man. I like. It's something different. Like in time, I think I might create something like as I gain more and more and keep, try to grow this channel of mine, and get people in, and you know what I'm saying? Like get other content creators in it with it too. Cause I'm not just like a one-man show. I'm all about like team, I can get on and do it, but
I don't mind doing it by myself, but I like going on with you guys and talking, man. It's more fun
man.
that way. And I love it.
Yeah.
I don't like non-live shows, to be honest with you. I would much rather be live and talking to all these folks. The merch. Thank you, Bishop Frank, my man. You should definitely be going in there and checking out our official show merch store. In fact, let me pop that up and I will share the screen with you a little bit. It's hofmedia.us/pod-merch. You can get our official. Let me get to it.
Don't fall victim to technology, shoddy. Yeah, dude. I just kind of do my thing right now. Like I interact where I can, But anyways, off to the this side, the merch. Check it out.
It is merch time. Yeah, check it. It's look, guys, we've got all these cool hats. Got us a nice little mid hat there for mid zoo.
The hats are dope.
Yeah. They're pretty cool. Then the horns out. This one is my favorite one. Blow it up a little bit. Texas fears Oklahoma.
Hmm.
That looks cool.
I like it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Then obviously the shirts. Now again, the horns down actual these are going away Friday, so you better get after them today. We got our Oklahoma versus the world stuff. You've got your 4-peat gear as well. The horns down letters, we don't ever have to get rid of that. But then we got our competitive depth. This is like, this is with the tribute to Toby Keith in it as well.
Oh, I like that, man. That's cool.
Go there and do that. This is a big way to help us out, man. And like I said, once we get to 4,000 subs, which we are now we've got 3611. So we are 389 subs away. Share the stream with everybody. Jump in there and take a look at this stuff, though. But look, guys, this is a great way to help the program right here. Well, obviously, you could jump on it. Look, if you were ever inclined to change your cell phone service, this is the way to go, is with Mint Mobile. It's unlimited talk, text, and data, 3 months, unlimited talk, text, data on the largest 5G network in the country for just $45. That's $15 a month, and you get to keep the phone that you already have. You can use it in conjunction with the service that you already have so that you can test it and make sure it works for you. That's the way I did it. I had Verizon. I no longer have Verizon. I'm saving $1,600 on 2 phones this year. $1,600. So that's huge. It's a great way to do it. But yeah, listen, it's you got what? And struggling to adapt to Twitter like Dabo to the portal. Oh, do you have a Twitter now?
You got a Twitter, shorty? Shoddy. Shoot.
The black wired, which one is it that you like? This one? Which one? Let me see.
Oh, dude. Shoddy, you got to grab one, man. Your channel, like with the stuff you guys are doing, like Doc and the Jock. I watch that, man.
I got to get on there and watch Doc and the Jock. Man.
I like it. It's really, it's freaking informative as heck. Huh?
He was watching a soap opera yesterday.
Oh, man, dude.
I got my little logo on the back of the hats, though, too, of these other ones. I like that white one. I ordered one of those the other day.
Yeah. And then, hey, T Boomer, if you need to find my
5
channel.
T-shirts, though.
Yeah.
5 T-shirts when we hit 4,000 subs. And Coach said last night he'll sign a shirt if you guys get one of those. Hey, and that's the shirt y'all got to check out. Where's that sucker at?
Which one?
The Coach. I don't give a shit T-shirt. I'm seeing it here. Huh. There we go. Yeah. So obviously, look at Coach. What do you think he's saying right there? He's coaching it up. He's younger than us, or younger than me at that point.
Let me see that. Yeah. No, he's.
Yeah. The Coach.
Yeah, he's still.
He got it in different colors: red, green for his. I always liked Heather Gray. I always liked Heather Gray.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Nah, man. Those are good stuff. I got one for you, man.
I need to get the stash one and put it on there too, man. I got that stash one, bro. Why not?
Yeah, why not? But you know what, dude? You know what I got for you? I got one for you for some Oklahoma football, because they're about the soul, right?
What do you got?
You like it? Like it'd be interesting to know if you guys would get this. It's all about that. It's
single again. I thought you've been single, bruh.
I like it.
Hey, Garrett Bullware, thank you, sir. Thank you for that. I know you were looking at it last night. I'm glad you figured that out. A new member, channel member. Make sure you get over to that channel member page and get your Discord link as well. As a matter of fact, I was just about to go there for you so I can get you that link.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Suitor in Texas, and then Ben G. Good old Ben. I like it. You know,
Yeah.
Ben, I gotta say, man, for being the Texas guy, dude, you really do a great job, you know,
He's a
of
dude.
enjoying it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got respect for that.
Fuck you, Jason. I love it.
Love it.
Okay, yeah. It's I'll send it to your I'll let you in there because they all love you in their stash.
Oh man, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys.
There's the Discord.
100. But
Yeah, so if you go over there where it says membership, there'll be just the member only content. It's the very top one. Join the channel.
Okay.
Members only Hall of Fame. I sent it to you already.
Got you. I love it, man.
Gifted another membership. Look at there. Who got it?
Who got it? Man, Bishop's always on it, man. Love that. Yeah, the latest episode, the Gaslight. Dude, it's a great show.
What is it? That's that show you were watching yesterday, the dating show?
The Doc and Jock, man. No, they do different like categories, like talk about narcissism. They talk about it's a cool, it's interesting perspective. I actually enjoy listening to it because you know you can really dig into some of this stuff, man. I like Shotty got something going on over there, man. That's a great him and Doc. They do a good job. It's fun to listen to. There's some good perspective.
Who said he was the same as Sark? That's not what we said.
Who's saying that?
That Lincoln and Sark are the same? That's not what we said.
No, I mean, obviously, I think like they're good play callers.
Similar in ways, but I think the problem is that Sark hasn't figured out how to really put the whole team thing together. I think he definitely does it better than Lincoln does, though. Because he's been around Saban for enough time, and I mean, it helped everybody.
Oh, got you. He's talking to Senior Cowboy. They're going back and forth.
Oh, I got you.
Love it. Thanks, Bishop. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, Mars is saying it. Never mind. Sark, Tebow, and Kiffin are the same. Mars. Trolling him. Just trolling him.
Woo.
And Sooner Cowboy said it. Okay, I got you. All right.
You know.
Who's the new member? Who got the new membership there? I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. I think there was
Garrett? Is it
Garrett Bulware? Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're the man.
Sooner Cowboys can become a member, man. Get in there and, you know, chop it up with everybody in the Discord and, you know, come on now.
Do it.
You're going to be that guy? Sooner in Texas, you too? Come on now. Guys, what else we got? Anything? So what else we got coming today? We've obviously taken a look at what we saw yesterday. I was going to talk a little bit about Drink yesterday and what he was saying about Caden Green, but I'm kind of off it at this point. Last thing I'm going to say about Lincoln is that, like I said before, it's no longer a debate. Why they were talking about that, I have no idea. Because the truth is, Lincoln Riley, it's the best thing that could have happened to Oklahoma. It doesn't matter what he does at USC. It was the best thing that could have happened at Oklahoma. And why Matt said that makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't get that either. But at the same time, I'll tell you, man, when Paul, like I said, we said it earlier with Paul, you know, the fact that he brought up what he brought up, he's not sitting there trying to like patty cake around it. He's just saying that's the way it is. And you're seeing
that's what he does, though. Look, guys, let's be serious. I mean, this is a clickbait society we're in right now, too. If you give them reason to do it, and there's a lot worse than Paul Feinbaum that knows less, like Barrett Sallee, you know, saying stupid shit whenever. I mean, stuff that's so easily provable to be wrong. I mean, it's one thing that you picked mid-zoo to be better than Oklahoma moving forward. That was dumb. And then saying that they're not going to be able to get the Heisman level quarterbacks, which that's the other thing that the USC creators were saying on Voice of College Football. They don't know about Michael Hawkins. They don't know about O'Neal.
The Jaden O'Neal's the real
Perry.
deal.
Jaden O'Neal is a stud. How do you not know about him? He's in your backyard, dumbass.
Oh, he's a stud. Like I really like Jaden O'Neal. And then yeah, man. Yeah, I got the membership. Thank you. That was I really appreciate that. I mean, cool. I feel like other guys deserve it. I maybe shouldn't put my thing in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Boomer sooner, or so you know, one forever.
Just keep it up.
No, but I appreciate that 100%.
Man, I appreciate everybody coming in though. But in the end, like I said, look, don't let the haters get to you anymore, guys. And it's just at this point, we're seeing where it's at. And I would agree with you that the guys are getting sick of the being, are you ready? Are you ready? We'll see what they say to the Texas guys today too. It'll be the same type of shit. They probably gave DeBoer the same type of, although DeBoer came in and for everything they were asking if he could do.
So far,
he sure as shit ain't having a hard time with that, and they're doing it different than what Nick Saban was doing. So listen, man. I've been saying it a bunch. Far be it from me to be the one.
Yeah, and then Ben, I know you asked about what DeBoer had said. I haven't had a chance to watch DeBoer's interview yet or his take on everything. I'm going to go back and watch that.
Same thing.
But I will say, I did see the portion where they introduced him, and one of the first things obviously he did was, give that credit to Nick Saban and say, it's an honor to be a part of this and whatnot. So I don't think the one thing that everyone says about Kalen DeBoer is, he's one of those guys who doesn't fall under a category where if there's one dude, right? If there's one guy I have seen, there's a few of them that I've seen, but if there's one guy who really stands out to me as far as ego does not like ever come up with him, it's Kalen DeBoer. Even if you look back, you know what I'm saying? You look back and you look at like Kalen DeBoer and him talking about taking on like coaching, because I don't think everyone realizes the other aspect of this is he's also taken over for a legendary coach before. Like to us, it's different because we don't see it. We're not from South Dakota, or we don't follow, Sioux Falls football. But you look at what he took over there and being a young coach. I mean, that is just as much pressure, especially being from South Dakota. I know one of the things that was discussed, like Bob Young was if people, you go to South Dakota, you bring up the name or anywhere around and you bring up Bob Young, the guy is a legend for Sioux Falls. Well, he specifically taps Kalen DeBoer to take over for him when he's done. I mean, the guy's already done it before, and he has the humility, I think, and the mindset of saying, it's not about me and all this stuff. Right. Washington fans would get really upset because they're like, well, it was about him because, he was all about Washington, and then already had talked with Alabama prior to this or that. And it's like, dude, you have to look at like progression too of a career. For the longest time, I was like, what is Grubb doing? The offensive coordinator, right? Like, why would he leave to jump to the NFL? And what if he doesn't have success? The truth is I look back on that and I say,
kind of separate himself though from Kalen and go do his thing. And 100. I like him a lot, man. I think Grubb's a hell of a play caller.
100. And I think it was a good move in the end of the day. Like, it was a progression in his career. You know what I'm saying? He was ready to move on to the next thing and get his opportunity. And I respect that. I think the thing is with DeBoer is you look at him from a standpoint of his humility and like the way he thinks, why he wants the success. It has nothing. Yeah, he wants to do it because he has a championship mindset, but really the same thing you hear every single time. And he definitely presents this way, is that he wants the guys to have the same experience he had playing football in college. He had that much fun. He loved it so much in winning a national championship.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, he broke record. He had the records for receiving yards at Sioux Falls. Yeah, he was in touchdowns and I think receptions too. He's that guy, and he won a national championship there too as a player. So, and he at one point he would even tell you he wasn't even going to go into coaching. He just kind of fell into it, you know?
Yeah. But here's the thing that I think that he did, like, there's always, and somebody brought this up. I'm trying to remember who it was that said this, and it makes a lot of sense because my son being a semi-pro golfer and stuff too. But there's guys that learn how to win, and there's guys that really never do.
Mm-hmm.
That they're really good. They've got the perfect golf swing, you know, and there's some of the, and like, I mean, to some extent, this is kind of where my son has kind of been, is that he hasn't won enough. He's won a lot, but he's just kind of working his way back into it now. But I'm saying there's guys out there that are really good winning. They learn how to win. There's guys that don't. There's guys that have the perfect swing and all that other stuff, and they can hit all the shots, but they never learn. Now, Kalen, he may not have known how to do the recruiting and do all this and the ass kissing to get his move up as quick as he possibly. I mean, to already have over 100 wins is crazy that he hadn't ever gotten another head coaching job before Fresno State, right?
No, I think he did.
Aside from the lower levels, I mean.
Yeah. I think it was Eastern Michigan. I think he might have been. Maybe I got to go back.
Right, but that's another FCS school, right?
I don't know if Eastern Michigan is. To be honest with you, I got to look. But but yeah, he.
But anyway,
besides that,
he learned how to win football games though, and he's that guy that does that part. Now all of a sudden you're giving him the keys to a recruiting machine.
Mm-hmm.
They've set up the system to, I mean, Oklahoma, we've been talking about this with OU. OU goes out and they hire the Eagles guys, and they've got a GM. A lot of the same what they're doing over there at Alabama, you're going to see it happening everywhere. Georgia, Texas, all these places are going to do it to work on whatever this. Look, things are about to change big, and they're getting out in front of it. This is when you know that they're ready, because if you wait even just this long and you get behind, it puts you way behind.
Oh yeah.
Way behind.
And I think like
if Clemson doesn't get their shit together, they're gonna wipe them off the face of the earth. What did you think about that? Hearing that the SEC doesn't want them or Florida State, and apparently neither does the Big Ten.
It makes you wonder. It's like, well, then why would you leave the ACC? Like, I mean, would you go to the Big 12?
That's the word. Apparently, it would be Miami, Florida State, Louisville, and Clemson.
Yeah,
is what the offer is right now. That's who they want, the Big 12.
I mean, it definitely helps them.
I think that right now they're not doing it because they don't. They're just starting the new contract. It's a ways down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly don't think that the SEC wants to expand. I think if they were going to expand, they wouldn't expand there. They would go with Carolina and Virginia first. If it was to like all the way come apart. But I don't think the ACC is coming apart. It sounded to me like, too, that they were talking about this, that the Big 12 might pay their exit fees, which is crazy. Because that's like $500 million a pop. Is there $2 billion you're going to pay to get them out?
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I'm not sure either. And I think by then they're probably thinking like, what's going to change, right? Like, do we end up going into like two super conferences? Like, do we separate it into like the way
that's what
the NFL breaks it down?
Walmart ought to acquire the entire thing, and it all becomes a two
AFC, NFC, like the NFL
division conference, ACC, Big 12. That way that you could have your East Coast teams and then the ones out here in the West, and you don't have that crazy travel, because with not making the same money that the Big Ten and the SEC are making, this crazy outlandish travel, and it's not. Shelby was talking about it the other day, and a lot of people are. It's not really about the football players; they get it well.
Oh yeah.
They get it. I mean, they get taken care of well, you know. But these other sports, think about a softball team or whoever that, you know, they're traveling all damn week, volleyball, back and forth across the country. That's rough, man.
That is rough.
It's pricey too.
Well, and that's going to be, it would be interesting to figure out how they decide to go about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, this isn't even no lie. They thought UT and OU were headaches. Wait till they have FSU. That's the other thing. You heard there were presidents from the Big Ten that said Florida State is proving not to be a very good partner because they never shut the hell up.
Yeah,
They've been complaining since they didn't get in the playoff last year. Look, whatever you think about whether they did or didn't, by now, shut up.
Oh yeah, at this point, it's over with.
Yeah,
right?
and
Nothing
I mean,
you
got smoked by Georgia in the freaking Orange Bowl. You didn't even have the guys to hang around there, and Georgia was better. They weren't gonna win the damn playoff without Jordan Travis. I'm sorry, you weren't.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But at this point, yeah, you're right. It's not a big deal. I don't know. I don't know if them leaving, if it's a way that the Big 12 too is like trying to set themselves up for.
They definitely are. And you have to be at this point. You need to, that's what I think though. They got to make themselves a big old conference that look, we'll put it to you this way. If you think about adding Clemson and Florida State, which are good brands, Miami, and then Louisville, those are the four. You add those with Utah and Colorado, say, obviously the Kansas schools, Kansas State for sure, and Iowa State. Look, Iowa State, they're gonna be a pain in the ass in that league too.
Oh yeah, their defense should be.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing: when
their offense should
give him a couple of years at Houston in that fertile recruiting ground, plus UCF as well. Could be a hell of a conference that way. It's still not going to be the SEC, but you'd get a lot more eyes on it than you're going to get for Miami versus NC State.
Yep.
It'll
be interesting to see how they go about this over the next few years. That's for sure. The conference
you never know where it's gonna go, man.
You don't, not at this point. That's what's kind of crazy about it, dude. Is you're just kind of like, man, which direction will it take, and who's gonna take over what?
It's weird, but the crazier it sounds, man. Just created a Twitter page. Looks like the spaceship dashboard.
Yeah.
What's your Twitter handle? Thad Parker or what? What? Pop it in there. I'll find you.
I know, dude. There's a lot in there, shoddy, but it's worth it in the end as long as you're.
I'll walk you through it after I get off here. You can call me when I get off. We're gonna get out.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, I appreciate everybody coming in. Glad we got to talk through it. I had to bring it up when I saw that this morning or last night, and I was finishing up my work. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. These guys, here they go. And like the other day, I was trying to keep it. I was being nice. I even gave him a super chat in that damn thing. I never have done that before. And I did it so he'd answer the question, but he lied about it. And I expected him to say no, he's a bootlicker, Lincoln bootlicker. And I get it. Okay. Parker Shaw. I like it. There you go. Shouty.
I like it, man.
I like it.
Yeah. It's
anyway, this is what it is. So we'll see what happens. And again, all I know is this. It's a non-issue at this point. We know that Oklahoma's in the right shape. Shelby said it earlier. He ran from the SEC. He's in the right spot, not in the SEC.
Yeah, probably not the best spot. But
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Brother,
100.
I appreciate you coming in. Tell everybody once again, you can always find him at the top. It's just at @coach_J Murr. All caps.
All capital
letters. It's at the very top of the description. If you just tap that one, it will take you to his channel. Make sure you guys sub to him. We need to get his subs up there. Get in there and interact with his videos and stuff too. How many subs do you have now?
I think I'm at like 325 roughly. So I got 175 awesome. To go.
We can start streaming to your channel. You know that?
Yeah. I know. I just was thinking about that. I was like, man, I got to do this stream whenever I do it. So But yeah, we're gonna have some videos coming out. There's gonna be some. Probably have one out today. I know I'm doing something later, potentially with the Horns Down podcast. That'd be cool. And then, yeah, we're just gonna keep
don't ever
rolling.
invite me, man, anymore. I see how it is.
Okay, Chris. Well, I don't even know. Well, I think I'm talking with Chris, so I'm figuring that out. So if you're open, Jason, definitely want to jump in on that. But yeah, so it'll be, we're gonna keep rolling. Like I said, it's newer, and come join up. Let me know what you think, and we'll do some more. Like I said, I
need to get over and check your stuff out more too, because
yeah,
I've been putting out so much content. I hadn't really been watching anything.
Hey, that's kind of how it rolls sometimes, man. But get in there and
I gotta make sure that you tag me whenever you post stuff in Twitter, though.
Yeah.
That way I'll redo it, and then that'll make me go watch it too. So
got you. Well, for sure, I'll let you guys know.
But yeah, we need to figure something out. And Shotty, tonight you are on Just My Damn Opinion tonight, right? Is it 9:30 Eastern time? Is that when you usually go, Shotty? I think that's when he goes. I believe so. Get over there and check it out on his page. You got to make sure that you like and subscribe to him as well. Make sure you get that bell notification so you know when he's on. Shotty shows the trip, man. You'll like it. So get over there and check it out, man. Good stuff. I need to go get on the doc and the jock. So
it's good stuff. You guys will like that.
Shotty, we appreciate you, brother. I need to hit you and Coach I up, and we need to discuss the other stuff for the game day show. So let's get after. I was looking at some stuff last night I think you'd like. So hit me up in a minute. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming in. Bishop Frank, Rob 077, Jimmy Satterfield, Ben G, Boomer, Sooner Forever, Sooner in Texas, Sooner Cowboys, Sneakers Cat. What else we got? Kimberly K was in here, I know, because she got gifted the other membership. Man, we've had a bunch of folks in here. Obviously, we had Ryman Lemon, Mars Jams, Big Bogue, Shelby, the First Lady. Thank you, Fisherman. Good to see you in here. Michael Deesh. Let's see who else we got. I don't want to miss nobody. Appreciate everybody coming in, guys. If I missed you, I'll see you guys on the other side in the Discord later. Thanks for coming in as always. And we will see you all on the next one. Throw 'em down.